Welcome back to the Greater You. Good to see you guys today. So we're going to wrap up that pillars model we've been working on. Let's go ahead and jump into our screen share for this one. So over the last number of videos, we've been discussing the foundation down here, and then each of these four pillars. We wrapped up the how pillar recently. Today we're going to talk about this, and we're going to do a story to show you how this works. So we've been talking about accountability, compassion, letting go, and how, and building that on a foundation of really good principles, values, morals, truths that you've discovered. So we're going to use the metaphor or story of two men that own a car wash. So guy number one is named Bob. Guy number two is named Rob, and we're going to describe how this purpose thing comes out of this. So Bob and Rob both own in this story we're talking about. They both own car washes. This is how they make money and provide for their lives. They both own a car wash. And these car washes are on the opposite ends of town. And, they both get a lot of traffic of being on either end of town. They both make about the same revenue, maybe 100,000, dollars a year or something flows through, or a couple 100,000, who knows? But whatever number, but let's say they're both car washes are about equally financially prosperous. So Bob's got his car wash, Rob's got his car wash. Interestingly, though, if you kind of look underneath the hood a little bit and you go over to Bob's car wash, you kind of look around and you discover that the employees are kind of quiet. They kind of keep to themselves. They're looking over their shoulders a lot. They seem a little stressed all the time when they're at work. And lo and behold, you see Bob come in and you hear him kind of laying into one of his employees, getting after an employee, being kind of rude and mean and belittling. The employee's kind of, feels grumpy. You come the next day and notice that employee's not there anymore. When you look into it, you find out that at Bob's car wash, there's a lot of turnover. These kids that are helping him run his car wash, they don't stick around. When you start interviewing the kids, you start finding out that Bob is just this tyrannical boss, and that the kids don't ever feel like they can do right by Bob. And so, yeah, they make a decent wage for a while. It's a high school job, but ultimately, no one really lasts. So there's this high turnover at Bob's car wash. So you wander on down to Rob's car wash, and you're kind of wondering, what's it like over at Rob's car wash? So you hang out in there. First thing you notice when you're walking into his car wash is that the kids that are helping run the car wash, they're pretty lighthearted. They're cracking up, telling silly jokes to one another. They're certainly working. They're working hard, just like over at Bob's car wash. But there's a lightness about it, right? They're kind of chilling at times. When they have breaks, they chat with each other. There's like a social environment. And you see Rob come in, and when Rob comes in, the kids that are helping him run his car wash smile. They're like, Rob's here. He's giving high fives to his employees, checking in on them. How's your work day? How's the car wash going? What's going on today? Did you see like a Lamborghini come through? And they're just chatting, and there's a friendliness there. But Rob's car wash is making about the same amount of money as Bob's car wash. Maybe it's the location, who knows? But there's a completely different energy and vibe going on in Rob's car wash versus Bob's, right? So you can see where we're going with this little analogy of the story of Bob and Rob's car wash. Bob is focused on his purpose is really to just get as much money out of this car wash as possible. And he's doing it, but at the risk and the cost of a lot of employee turnover and a lot of hurt feelings, quite frankly. Over at Rob's car wash, the kids tend to hang out. They tend to stay all through high school or whatever till they go off to college. If someone lands a job at Rob's car wash when they're going through their 4 years of high school, they want to stay there because the place is like a party. You do work hard. You leave exhausted because you're working hard. And Rob definitely has high standards of customer care, and he's equally as friendly with his customers as he is his employees. And he does expect them to do their jobs, but he wants them to feel like they're having a good time too, and connecting with one another. So they hang out, they stick around until they head off to college. But he's making about the same amount of money, right? Maybe he's making a little less because he probably pays his kids a little more. They stick around. Um, but there's something more going on, right? Over at Rob's car wash. So Rob has figured out the pillars, and Bob's pillars are kind of lacking. He's got a strong accountability pillar, but his compassion pillar is pretty broken. He's not doing great with the letting go thing. So then his way of being is pretty tyrannical and mean. If you went down here, maybe, the pursuit of wealth is his main value that he's been really just hyper focused on. And he's missing some of the softer values that connect him to people. Whereas if you look at Rob's sense of purpose is totally different. Bob's sense of purpose might be to make as much money as possible, where Rob's sense of purpose has some depth to it. It's something like create a work environment as an entrepreneur that creates a team environment, a synergistic environment, a fun environment for teenagers to work in while they're, getting through high school. Those are that's like the population that usually, runs these car washes, right? Is like it's like the perfect high school job. You're moving and grooving and active. So he's really catered his environment to make it fun for a bunch of teenagers to work in, yet they still work hard. His sense of purpose is so much more, there's so much more depth there. He's creating a culture and an environment based on the fact that he's got all these pillars working. There's the accountability, people have to cover their shifts and do their work, but he's got a ton of compassion going on. Kids make mistakes and he doesn't create a hang up on it. He's not resenting. There's going to be some kids that come and go because they're lacking in their pillars, but overall he creates an environment that cultivates growth within his employees. So his way of being pillar, his how pillar, very strong. He comes at it from a standpoint of building people instead of just making money, right? This is the beauty of this model. And you can do this and apply it to relationships, your business, your individual sense of growth, and manifesting your own goals. Go ahead and book one-on-ones with us. Let us know in your comments, or you can go visit the greater you. That's the greater you at the letter u.com, and hit us up. We've got coaches that will help you build your pillars, build your sense of purpose. We've done a lot of consulting with a lot of different people over many years and help them build their pillars and get their sense of purpose really dialed in so that they can be successful in life, in business, in relationships. So that's it for this one. If you like this video, give it the like, subscribe. We've got more content to come. It's been good to spend some time with you today. Hopefully you'll work to build those pillars in your own life and allow us the chance to help you with it. Take care, and we'll talk again soon.